Hello everybody! So, Natasha and Luca, thank you so much for being here in Belfast.
Thank
Thomas,
you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having us.
On tour?
On the channel too.
Yeah, cheers, thank you. So you're on tour and you've been in Dublin just before here,
Yes.
and you're off to Scotland after. How's it going on the tour anyway?
Absolutely fantastic.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool, awesome. So I got some questions for you, and you can let me know. So the first question: how has your activism evolved since you've both been traveling versus staying in the same country?
Sure.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, you're basically speaking to the same people about the same topics and getting very similar answers everywhere we go. Humans are humans. We all have the same objections. There are a few differences here and there. For example, in some parts of the United States, we found that there was a lot of objections coming from the religious point of view, the whole God, though, arguments. We did find that they are more focused on politics. So, they were concerned about issues to do with Trump rather than, we don't have time to focus on animals. So there are a few differences, but generally I think it's been pretty consistent.
Why do you think it's important to tour around for the vegan message?
Well, I think one thing is to encourage vegans, not yet vegans, to become vegan. But another thing is to encourage not yet active vegans to become active vegans.
Yeah.
And I think, if you stop to think about it, a lot of people learn about veganism through, say, a vegan documentary film, for example, maybe something like What the Health or Cowspiracy. Now, those documentary films only exist because somebody who was vegan, the director of those films, decided to take action and spread the vegan message to others so that they could too learn about veganism. So that's what we're doing here on this tour, isn't it?
Yeah, we receive a lot of comments on our channel and our various social media platforms where people were feeling like they weren't ready to become activists. They were a little bit hesitant, they were a little bit fearful, and so we kind of thought, well, we really need those people to become active, as Lucas said, so why don't we just go out and meet them, have some workshops, give them some tools, some resources, and help them along to attend events with them, and so they're feeling more comfortable. And we've had great numbers on both the US tour and the UK and Ireland tour, where people are just feeling like, we can get out and do that, so they come and meet us, and then they come and do activism with us. It's been really good.
That is so awesome, and I have enjoyed your time here, and you do such great work, so thank you so much. Next question is, as we all know, vegans come in all shapes and sizes, colours and backgrounds, but personally I was curious, is there anything you notice from one country to the next, similar themes or patterns in the types of people that you encounter?
Yeah, I think people...
the types of people that you work with, the vegans?
With the vegans, where the vegans differ from country to country, for example. Well, I guess we've just noticed small differences. For example, in the state we're living in Australia, our home country, the activism scene is very strong there, and one of the keys to the success of the activism scene there is the cross-collaboration between some of the major activist groups. So I'm talking about Anonymous for the Voiceless, the Save Movement, and Direct Action Everywhere. And so rather than just all going to, say, Anonymous for the Voiceless's actions and not going to Direct Action Everywhere, we try to make sure that there's a good representation, a good number of activists at each of the group's events. And what that does is it ensures the success of each of those group's events, and it propels the movement forward rather than just favouring one over another, for example. So that's something we're sharing with our US and UK and Ireland audiences as a best practice.
Awesome, great answer. What advice can you give for vegans who aren't active about getting active for animals?
Yeah, well, we've said on the channel for so many years now that going vegan is not the most we can do, it's the least we can do. And what we mean by that is it's time to take that next step and get active for animals. Because if we don't speak up for animals, then who will, right? So what people can do is they can join, as Luca mentioned, the three main groups at the moment, Anonymous for the Voiceless, the Save Movement, and Direct Action Everywhere. Get involved in those chapters in your local area. If there isn't one, you can start one. And of course, you don't have to just do those three forms of activism. Any way you want to speak up for animals is absolutely fine. We encourage people to take what they're currently doing in terms of their interests, their passions, and veganize it. So, quick example: if you're a dancer, you might want to weave in a vegan theme to your dancing, or if you're a teacher, you might want to throw in some vegan resources or films to your classes. Just introduce veganism and speak about it any way you can to other people.
Awesome. Now, So I've yet to see Dominion, and I think we're doing a screening of it here in Belfast soon. You both have seen it twice now. What did you think about that?
Right, so I think Dominion, for those who don't know what it is, it's an Australian documentary film that's come out this year, 2018. It's directed by Chris Delforce of Aussie Farms, and basically it showcases or highlights the animal agriculture industry and the standard industry practices, and it focuses mainly on farms in Australia. However, it also does include some footage from other places in the world, and what we're finding is it doesn't matter whether it's in Australia or whether it's in the UK or whether it's in the United States or wherever in the world, the standard industry practices are those, and that is because it is the most profitable way to raise animals. So if you're looking at footage in Australia, you can bet your bottom dollar that it's also happening in your home country.
I think it's a very well put together film. The footage is extremely graphic, but very necessary. And I think, a lot of vegans say, look, we don't need to watch this, we're already vegan. Why do I need to sit through this again? And the reason is because there's always something new that you're going to learn about industry, and that really helps in your outreach when you're having conversations with people to keep yourself abreast of what's going on in all aspects of animal exploitation. And it also ignites a fire in us, to really get out there and start being active. And if you are already active, be more active. Speak a little bit more passionately, if you like, more conviction. Just fight for those animals that don't have a chance to speak up for themselves. So we have to use whatever emotion it stirs within us as fuel for our activism.
For sure, thank you. And what does a typical day look like for that vegan couple?
A typical day on tour or off tour or?
On tour.
On tour. Okay, so
hectic.
Pretty much every day we've scheduled an event, whether it be our meet-up and activism workshop or whether it be a Save Movement vigil, an Anonymous for the Voices Cube of Truth, a Direct Action Everywhere action, or something like today, Dairy is Scary. We know where we're offering dairy-free vegan food samples to the public and educating and outreaching them about the dairy industry. So that's pretty much the vast majority of the time. Sometimes there'll be a Dominion screening thrown in there, and sometimes we might attend an animal farm sanctuary where we get to see the lucky individuals that have been rescued from the horrific animal agriculture industry, and we get to see them in their natural environments with their family and friends, living as they would, seeking joy and happiness just like us, and avoiding pain and suffering.
There is a lot of travel. We're moving on, say, every 3 or 4 days, so a lot of moving about, a lot of speaking to people, a lot of meeting people, the workshop, of course.
And then there's the editing behind the scenes.
Well, I was going to say, in the free days, we record podcast episodes, we do a lot of editing. Basically, whenever there's downtime, we're editing, trying to get some content out, keeping everything up to date on Instagram and Facebook.
It never stops.
It never really stops, but, we feel extremely grateful to be in a position where we can do this and meet people that are following us and inspire them and help them to get active. And it's been an incredible experience to connect with so many people that have been following the channel for so many years, and now to take them through to that next step of getting more active for animals. So
Awesome. And my final question, have you ever been to a huge march before, and are you looking forward to the London March on the 25th?
Yeah, wow.
We haven't actually been to a very large march, and this will be our first one, and we're so excited. In fact, we planned the UK.
Well, when we
and
say
Ireland.
we haven't been to a large one, we went to the Animal Liberation Conference in Berkeley earlier this year.
I forgot about that already.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought there was one.
Yeah.
So we went to the march there. There was almost 1,000 people, we'd say.
Yeah. So you're right.
Yeah, that was the
through
largest.
the streets of San Francisco, and it was very powerful. So I can only imagine 8 times that number, because I think around 8,000 is probably the likely number we're going to get in London. So 8 times the power of what happened in San Francisco.
It's
that will be mind-blowing. So really looking forward to that. Yeah.
Folks, that's all for now. We're going to get back to our activism, but thank you so much for the interview, and
It's been a pleasure.
I will see you in the future.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, guys.